electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally.
Hey everybody, welcome. I'm doing a daytime live that almost never ever happens. So, let me see ya. Look, I am using some new technology where I can switch screens and I can see you and talk to you for a minute before we get to work. Today we're gonna use our Love Brings You Home transfer. I absolutely adore this transfer. You're gonna see it's got a globe and it has the words. Oh, you can't even see that. I'll show it to you when I switch cameras. It says, life takes you to unexpected places. Love brings you home. So it's really sweet. We're doing it on a stained wood board today. So like pretty traditional and easy to do. I may need a little bit of help when it comes to choosing my colors. I've got some great colors to choose from. But until then, I'm trying to see, I need my iPad to catch up with me. So let's get started. Here we go. I'm super excited. Let's switch screens. All right, here we go. So this is our transfer, Love Brings You Home. Make sure you go ahead and say hi to me because this new technology has a little bit wacky. I don't always see people come in and I really want to be able to say hi to you and we can chit chat. So say hi when you come in, like and share my video, like my page. All of my lives are going to be on my business page from now on. And also on my YouTube page. So those are the two business pages that I'm working from. I have a VIP group, which is exactly that. It's called Chalk Nation, Creative Sarah's Chalk Nation. It is my VIP group. It is for customers, hostesses, and that's it. So if you've attended my events, if you've hosted an event, Facebook event, purchased from me, in any of my clubs, those are the people who will be invited into my VIP group. I'm in the middle of cleaning it out right now. And everything else will be right here on my business page. So let's get going. Okay, so the first things first, we have this background. That's what this is. This is going to be the blue water background to the earth, the globe, and then when I do it's going to be green. I have been doing this all day. Green or blue, because the land is green. So when I put this over it and color, this will be blue. So this is all the water. These are the oceans. And then the land, what's showing through, will be green. And then this, we're going to use our custard to do the globe, the wood or the frame part, and then also the word. So it's going to be pretty simple, 3 layers, and I want to show you these colors. I have this emerald green, which is a brighter green, more of a summertime grassy green, and then we have evergreen, which is a little more muted, a little more probably what you would see if you were out in outer space on a space shuttle or something. So today I'm going to choose to use the emerald. They both begin with an E, so of course here I am making silly mistakes. I'm going to use the evergreen. And then I'm going to set this aside, but I want to show you that you have options. We are going to use azure, which is our lighter blue for the oceans. There are even lighter than this, but I'm going to use those two. So then I'm going to use our custard over that. And I'm going to set that back onto the dish. So you may wonder what these little mats are for. when I'm working, especially when I'm working by myself and I'm doing a large piece like this, and I may need to dip back into my container, these little, and it's seriously the easiest thing. These are the little squishy, like drawer liner or shelf liner. Do you know what I'm talking about? They come in a roll. And I cut these up. They're great for crafting, DIY stuff where you can just set things on them and they won't slide, okay? So as I'm dipping into it, that container, that jar, will stay sturdy and strong. So that makes me super, super happy. Okay, I need to kind of look at this. This is gonna be at the bottom and my circle needs to be up here. And there's this little notch that I'm lining up here. So this will go at this portion, and I just want to kind of see if that will work. I think that will work just fine. So I'm going to kind of line up my transfer to the edge, the top, and the right hand side, and that should be great. This I'm gonna write back on because that is what we always do. That is how we don't make mistakes, by putting our transfer on the wrong side. And believe me, I've done it clearly on accident, but I have done it. So get my handy towel. Towel goes on my lap every time I'm chalking. I can wipe my hands on it. If you use an apron, that is great too, but I am always needing my towel. Sometimes I'm wiping things off up here. So this transfer is going on here. Oh, look at what I've done. Not a problem. All right. So I just want to test it to see. I don't think I need to. Okay. To see if I was going to need to fuzz it. Usually on my wood boards, I don't have to because of the way they are finished. Now, this is a whole lot of screen, okay? A whole lot of screen. And because of that, we're going to be very diligent at putting our screen down, and it's totally crooked, by the way, so even though I was very diligent, now I need to do it again and not be crooked, but also be up to the top. Good gravy. Oh, there's so much to do, so much to think of. Okay, now I'm going to go back to being diligent about really getting this flattened out. No bubbles. The adhesive is your friend. There are little tiny itty bitty bits of, oh, I have something under it, so I'm going to lift it up. It was like just a random fuzz ball. All right, so I think I've got it really nice. Now remember, this is going to be green, so this is going to be our earth color. When I do this over it, the green will show through. So that's why we're choosing green. Make sure when you come in to tell me hi. Let me know that you're watching. I love to see that, see who's I'm watching, or who I'm, you know, who's watching me, who I'm talking to. I'm going to give this evergreen a stir, and we are going to use quite a bit because look at all of that. We have lots of chalk going to be put down, and it's going to be great. I am going to use my stir as a scoop. So I am going to scoop, and that's quite a bit. I'm going to set it here in case I need more. And I'm going to choose my 4-inch. This is our handled squeegee. If you guys haven't seen this, this comes apart. So there are little screws here and you can unscrew this, but it comes apart. You can do it handled. I love to take this handle off so that I get a really great grasp and control. Those handles are great for people who, if you know anyone who has maybe arthritis in their hands, it's a really great tool for that. It allows them to grasp it without, you know, a tiny, like you don't have to hold on to a real tiny thing. So that's kind of nice to know. Now, as I'm doing this, I am also kind of using up an older paste, and so I have a lot of little chunks. So I'm going to make sure there are no chunks on my my earth at all. And I'm going to, I just need to fill up this little spot right here. I'm going to go just using this little bit of, and then go ahead and smooth it out. And I think we're good to go. So all that goes back. Set this down, and we will peel up our green earth. That looks amazing. So I'm putting my transfer into my water bath where it's going to, I'm just kind of gently cleaning it off with my hand, and then it will remain in there until I'm done. And I'm going to clean off my large squeegee real quick because I may want to use it again. So in my next transfer, well, I have to dry this before I can do anything, so bear with me as I start to dry the green part of the earth. It doesn't take long at all. You can see this chalk dries really, really quickly, so it's pretty nice. I can actually see it drying. It changes a little bit. You can see it turn from like a glossy to a matte. And then I'm going to give it a minute to kind of cool off as I put the green away, because I am done with this color. Just cleaning off the edge, which I like to do as I put it away so that we get a nice good seal on that color. And then my little stir stick goes right into my water dish. So at the end, I'm cleaning everything. I'm cleaning my squeegees, my stir sticks, and my transfers. You really want to make sure that it gets completely dry, especially any really large piece like this. For sure, for sure. Make sure you come in and say hi to me. Tell me who's watching. I won't make you talk if you don't want to, but you should just say hi. So I see a bunch of you on. I just can't see who it is. Okay, so this is good. We're going to go ahead with our second part of the transfer. Now this is a little bit larger, and to be honest, when this transfer came to me, this piece is actually this large. I didn't want to have to deal with the extra transfer bit, so I trimmed the top and bottom so that it was like this. And what I need to do is, I need to kind of, I'm going to flip this over so that I don't do anything bad with my peeling. I have done some Bad things before. Okay, so now I need to get this onto here, and I have to line up. I have to line up this little notch. And get my Oy. Yeah, and you kind of need to like get on top of it for a second to see what you're doing. This looks pretty good. Oh, I know. Hold on, there's more than one thing that lines up. I see it now. Oh my goodness. These cute little marks line up too. So we just got to rotate it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Truly doesn't need to be perfect now that I think about it. Okay, that looks awesome. The stand is at the bottom. Make sure there are no bubbles and really get that in there. Okay, now when I do the blue, hi Cindy, thanks for saying hi, girl. I thought I was like talking to nobody. Okay, so this is my azure. We're going to stir it up, and I'm going to get this all ready to go. And then I'm going to get my custard all ready to go as well. I think that, I'm just going to clean this up real quick. Sometimes these little lids get really messy, and you just have to clean them up. So, oof, I need a wipey. Okay. All right, let's get back into my situated position. Okay, stirring this, that's what I was doing. I knew I was doing something. Stirring up my custard. Ooh, nice and smooth and creamy. Love it, love it, love it. So I really am gonna need to use this most likely with my blue, and then this I'm gonna use my angled squeegee, and if I need to get into any small spaces, I'll grab one of these. But we're gonna go ahead and do the white first, or the custard first, and I'm kind of leaving it a little bit extra thick because I know that I'm also chalking this blue afterward. I may need to go back. There is a nice barrier for the most part. And I definitely don't want this to dry out. So as I chalk, okay. All right, let's go to our blue and let's get this going. It's pretty quick. And there's a nice, like I said, there's this nice barrier. So it's looking good. And I'm doing it fairly quick that I don't think I'll have a problem with anything drying out. But you never know. You never ever know. And I think I'm good on, I don't think I mixed. Okay, so now we're just smoothing. Let's get it pretty smooth. Oh, I got a little blue on this white over here, but I think I can fix that. Just gonna scrape that off. And I'm gonna try to just cover it with more of the white. And a little bit will be all right. So let's peel. And oh my gosh, you guys, look at what I did. Such a bummer. And it's not really anything I did. I'll explain to you why that happened. Just a second as I put this in my water bath. Now, this could happen to anybody at any time, honestly. But in this particular instance, I'm using a new finish on my board. Something that I have not used before. Well, I have, but I should say I haven't actually double layered this. And I believe that, so there's no wax on this board, which is usually what I do. I did kind of a different finish. When you double layer things, and this is a total learning experience, so pay attention. I will redo this and it'll be fine. When you're layering over, especially such a large open spot, you really need to make sure that this is super dry and stuck to the board. And there's a potential for peeling that up. I could have done a couple things different. I could have waited longer for it to dry. I also could have waxed this board, but then I also, those are two things. And the third thing that I could have done was just fuzz my transfer. And I know this, and so I probably should have just fuzzed it. But when you fuzz your transfer, it won't stick to that as much as it did without fuzzing. So to redo this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray with water. And we'll see how this works too, because this new finish may or may not allow me to have that same quality of wood that is under here right now. And I'll grab and I'm just going to start cleaning. And I suppose I could leave this white on here because that looks pretty good. And that will make my job easier when I redo it. I feel like in 11 months of doing lives, this probably is only the second time I've ever had anything like this happen that I couldn't like just fix right away, that I had to redo. So I don't feel too bad. And this is total, hi Christy, so glad you could join me on my complete mess up day. Ooh, I just wiped my white. So I feel like it's a huge learning experience. Number one, yes, Sarah does this too. Bad things can happen. Maybe I'll just wash that off since I messed it up. The whole thing. So I'm just spraying. There is nothing in here except for water. And I will let you know, not every board is going to allow you to wash it. Not every board. This particular board I made myself. And my goal is to try to get a board where I can redo it. But some of the colors do stain. And so I'm just going to get that kind of dried. And then what we'll do real quick, and this is going to be, you're going to learn two things. You're going to learn a shortcut on that, and then you're going to learn a shortcut on this. Cleaning off your transfers when you want to use them again right away. So this has been in the water because I always clean, you always clean in the water first. And then the second part to clean up is this disinfectant wipe. So that is clean. Now I'm drying my surface. See how my towel comes in super duper handy? Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, Christy, yeah. Totally happens to the best of us. But I'm going to make this work because I was super excited to do this. Sip of water. Hold on. Okay. All right. So now drying again. Lay this down. Now the sticky side is down. And I am drying it. This is going to speed the drying time. And then what I'm going to do is lay it sticky side up on my drying rack or mat or whatever it is that you use. And I'm going to grab that other part of the transfer and get that totally done. I will tell you, there are people who would have stopped the video like 100 times before now. But I am determined to get this. So my transfer is wet. I'm drying it for the first time. And then I'm going to wash it and then I'll dry it for a second time. And then it takes a lot of time out of it, speeds up that drying. But yeah, clean off my mat. Now, there is some chalk here that is what it peeled up. Such a bummer though, because it was going quite well up until that point. We're going to try it again and see, and it might just be the board. Whenever chalk peels up like that, it's usually the board or the fact that you need to fuzz the transfer. Honestly. Okay, so this is going to set over there and dry. We're going to bring our board back in here. We're going to go through this. I already cleaned up my green, so I'll have to get that back out. No biggie, because our green is going down first. I'm going to make sure my surface is nice and dry, because remember I had to wash it off. Thank you, Christy. I hope I got it, man. You never know what you're going to get into with me. Okay. I'm going to line this up again. There we go. Make sure there's nothing. Okay. And I'm going to open this up. I'm going to have to stir it up again. And I may just end up using the rest of this container, because we have a lot of, I'm not going to need that much, but look at all those bumps. I'm going to have to throw, I have to throw those bumps away. All those little clumps. So it might be the end of this. We will soon find out. Okay, where'd my big, oh, here it is. Ha, it's got blue on it. So let's get that cleaned off. No problem. I need to put music back on. Jeez Louise. nothing like starting over from scratch. Okay. Here we go. Let's get this on nice and smooth. Okay. Pop it back in. Maybe I didn't use it all. Maybe I lied. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Okay. All right, we got it. We got you. You are no match for us. Oh, I got a whole big glob down there. Putting this back into the container, real quick, the water, real quick. This is gonna dry. We're gonna let it dry. Not all by itself. That would take, do not try. No, so we do not use blow dryers on our transfers. We don't use heat at all on the transfers because it's not good for them. They will warp. I have learned that the hard way a long time ago. When I first joined the company, I learned that the hard way. Thankfully, I learned it on a very small 5x7 transfer and not a big one. Okay, now this is this is actually a craft heater. It's a quiet, and it gets hot, so the trick is to move it constantly. Now, a blow dryer is meant to dry things out. A craft heater is actually meant to heat things up, but it blows air, hot air. So if you move it, it isn't going to be as heated as it would be if you just held it in one place. So there's a little lesson for you. Still not quite dry. And you know, even though it's a very thin layer of chalk, it's actually, you have to make sure it's dry all the way through. All the way through. So let's get this good and dry. And maybe today is not a very dry day in my basement, but usually it dries super fast. Oh gosh, especially in the winter. Now that it's summer, it's a little more humid in the air. Okay. All right, guys, now it's time for me to get nervous. Whew. Okay. Now we gotta lay this other transfer down, but I'm going to fuzz it up nicely. So I'm gonna lay this down. The most important things to get fuzzy are the inside of this. The outside is not important, but we want the inside pieces to be fuzzed up. And let's hope that did the trick. Now again, I'm gonna line this up. Oh, I'm nervous. Twist it a little. Okay. I have a fuzzy fuzz. Don't want that right there. Okay. So the most important thing is that we have this perimeter sealed off. If it gets a little messy on the inside, it's okay. Nervous, but I'm gonna do the same thing. Maybe I'll just do the the white. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I should have gone back and... That blue was pretty quick though. So that makes me kind of nervous for what's going to happen. I'm getting kind of messy. I need my little, there we go, just to go right along there. I think I'm taking longer than I did before. Now I can have my big one back and finish this off. Now the blue won't take long at all. I just am not going to push down as hard as I might have done before, just because I think that was part of my issue. Need some more. Yes, I'm going to make sure it's fairly smooth. Oh, sorry, I was really quiet there for a minute. Just concentrating, praying, hoping. Okay, this is about as smooth as I'm going to go, just because I don't want to give any extra pressure. Nerves of steel. It worked. Now, slightly, it looks like I had a little bit of weirdness with the blue, like the blue didn't stick to the green. But overall, what does it look like? The earth, the globe, and remember, this is going on top of that. So we've got a successful globe over here. Now we have to dry this. And, all right. Half the battle. Half the battle. We've got this part done. Now we need to keep this dry. I know I have some white here, which no big deal. Like, I can go over that. No big deal. No big deal at all. I know. Woohoo! Hey, Jennifer. Howdy, howdy. You did not see my craziness that just happened. But it can happen to anybody. Okay. So I am going to fuzz my other transfer. We're just drying all of this blue. And the white too. Okay. So then we cool it down. I will set this aside so that I can fuzz my transfer. Put my towel up here. See, how many times have I pulled this towel out? It is universal. I tell you, if you are going to chalk or ink or anything, get yourself a nice set of like hand towels. These are bathroom hand towels, and keep them in your crafting area. I have a nice set of them. When people come to chalk, everybody gets one. It's just so handy. And then I have a little laundry basket. Okay, now this is extremely fuzzy. Okay. Okay. Here goes nothing, guys. Here goes nothing. All custard, all the way. Clean off my 4-incher over here. Dry it off. I'm going ever so lightly because now I'm third layer. And I want to make sure that it actually... Oops, I can wash that off. Don't stress. I need more. See how nicely that stayed put on my little thing when I went to get more? Okay, last swipes. I don't like what I heard over there. I heard some crackling, which means I possibly could have been. Yeah, this is a mess, but I will clean it up. Ooh. I'm just wondering why this isn't sticking. I wonder if that is going to help at all. I'm learning here because I'm really not. Okay. All right, so I maybe didn't push hard enough.